Hey Bears fans, welcome back. Today we're diving into everything happening with the Chicago Bears as we inch closer to that crucial Saturday showdown at Soldier Field against the Packers. The stakes are high, and every roster move, every injury update, and every strategic adjustment could be the difference between walking off the field with a win or facing another tough loss. First off, there's been some chatter about potential acquisitions, specifically regarding a pass rusher who has previously caught the Bears' attention. The big question on everyone's mind is whether this player, Matt Judon, is someone worth claiming off waivers, or if the team should look elsewhere to strengthen a pass rush that has struggled to consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks this season. Judon recently hit waivers, which means that if a team wants to claim him, the window is now open. But looking at his performance this year, the numbers tell a clear story. He has yet to record a sack this season, only one tackle for loss, and his overall advanced metrics are less than encouraging. Even though raw stats don't tell the full story, his pass rush win rate is under 7%, he ranks near the bottom in both overall and pass rush grades, and his performance as a run defender has been below average. While last season Atlanta offered some glimpses of effectiveness, even then his pressure metrics were modest, and he finished with 5.5 sacks, which is decent but not transformative. Bringing him in now as a solution to revitalize the Bears' defensive line seems unlikely. The team has other players stepping up in key moments. Montez Sweat has shown flashes. Austin Booker impressed against a backup offensive line in Cleveland, and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka has been a consistent contributor, generating pressure and holding strong against the run despite not racking up sacks. Additionally, Dominique Robinson, while limited in playing time, has outperformed Judon this year and represents a more immediate and reliable option within the roster. In essence, claiming Judon would require clearing a roster spot, which might not be worth it given the likelihood of meaningful production. Of course, if he clears waivers, bringing him into the practice squad for depth or to evaluate him in one of the final games of the season is reasonable, but expecting him to immediately impact the defense against Green Bay this Saturday seems unrealistic. The Bears have to weigh roster management carefully, especially with other priorities like Tremaine Edmunds, likely commanding attention for active roster inclusion soon. Moving on to injuries. This week is pivotal for both teams as they finalize preparations and assess player readiness. On the Packers' side, Christian Watson returned to practice in a limited capacity despite a shoulder and chest injury that had hospitalized him earlier in the week. His return is crucial for Green Bay, as he has become a top weapon for quarterback Jordan Love, providing explosive plays and stretching defenses vertically. While he is not at full strength, the expectation is that he will play Saturday night, and that could significantly influence how the Bears approach their defensive schemes, particularly in coverage and pass rush assignments. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur has indicated Watson is fighting to play, and judging by the practice footage, he looks to be in good shape to contribute. Other Packers players of note include Josh Jacobs, dealing with knee and ankle concerns, and Josh Way, who remains in concussion protocol, with their availability still somewhat uncertain. Limited participation was seen from Dantavian Wicks's, Savon Williams, Chris Brooks, and Lucas Van Ness, with the team needing several of these players to step up given the absence of Micah Parsons. These developments make it clear that while the Packers are approaching near full strength, there are still key questions surrounding their lineup that could impact their game plan. Turning our attention back to the Bears, injury reports present a mix of concerns and cautious optimism. Neither Rome nor Luther Burton practiced today, with Rome continuing to manage a stress fracture in his foot and Burton dealing with an ankle issue. While Rome appears unlikely to play this week, Burton might be able to contribute if he can manage through the injury with taping and icing. This could leave DJ Moore and Zacchaeus as the top receivers, which likely means the Bears will lean heavily on 12 and 13 personnel packages to create passing options. On the defensive side, Ian Agbog-Miga missed practice again due to a hamstring injury, likely sidelining him for at least one game and affecting special teams. Tremaine Edmunds participated in a limited capacity, and his status for Saturday will be a significant factor for the Bears' linebacker rotation, especially alongside T.J. Edwards. DeAndre Swift also appeared as limited on the injury report with a groin issue. Swift has been exceptional this season, nearing 1,000 rushing yards, and his absence will be a major blow to the Bears' ground attack. If Swift is unable to play, the team will have to lean more on Kyle Monangai and Travis Homer, who returned fully to practice today, while Britton Brown may be elevated to provide depth at running back. Meanwhile, Cole Kmet continues to be managed through ankle and knee concerns, but is expected to contribute. Tyson Bent returned to full participation after missing a recent game due to illness, and Andrew Billings recovered from sickness to rejoin practice. What this means heading into the Packers' week matchup is that the Bears have a blend of key contributors returning, some players managing injuries, and others firmly on the sideline. These factors will directly influence the team's approach to both offense and defense. The Bears' defensive line has to perform efficiently. The secondary must account for the Packers' explosive weapons, and the running game, led by Swift if healthy, will need to balance the passing attack. On the other side, the Packers' offensive availability, particularly with Watson likely active and uncertainties surrounding Jacobs and other contributors, creates an interesting chess match for both coaching staffs as they finalize game plans. Every snap will matter. Every mismatch will be exploited, and the depth players, both on the Bears and Packers, could play pivotal roles in the outcome of this divisional clash. As we continue breaking down the Bears heading into this highly anticipated matchup against the Packers, it's clear that depth and adaptability will be defining factors for Chicago. The linebacker core, for instance, is entering a critical stretch. Tremaine Edmunds' status looms large, and even if he is limited, the Bears will need him to contribute effectively, especially alongside TJ Edwards, who has been the anchor for the middle of this defense. Edwards' presence allows the linebackers around him to be more aggressive, but with Edmunds' participation potentially managed in a pitch count fashion, the coaching staff will have to carefully balance his snaps, ensuring he is available for key situations without risking further injury. The Bears' pass rush will also be under the microscope. With the departure of any temporary solutions like Matt Judon off the table, the team is relying on internal options to generate pressure. Montez Sweat has the size and athleticism to be a consistent disruptor, and Joe Tryon-Chonka's versatility allows him to threaten both the edge and interior gaps, which is crucial against a Packers offensive line that has shown weaknesses under certain matchups. Austin Booker, while more of a rotational piece, provided a glimpse of what he can do when given favorable matchups, and those flashes could be the difference on a few key plays. The defensive line must also communicate effectively, especially in stunts and twists designed to confuse the Packers' blockers. One missed assignment could open up lanes for Jordan Love to find his receivers, particularly with Christian Watson expected to play. Watson's presence stretches the field vertically, forcing the Bears' safeties and corners to respect the deep ball, which, in turn, can open up running lanes for Aaron Jones and other backs. This makes gap discipline and timing in the Bears' front seven even more critical. On the offensive side, DeAndre Swift's health remains a major storyline. He has been electric this season, both as a runner and as a receiver out of the backfield, creating mismatches and forcing defenses to dedicate extra attention. If he is limited or unable to play, the Bears' offensive coordinator will need to adjust quickly, relying more heavily on Kyle Monangai and Travis Homer to sustain drives and manage the tempo of the game. Homer's return to full participation is a welcome development, providing not only rushing options but also special teams versatility. Britton Brown's potential elevation adds depth, ensuring that Chicago can maintain balance and sustain a physical running game, which is essential against a Packers defense that, while solid in personnel, has shown vulnerability when forced to defend multiple rushing threats. The offensive line, particularly with Cole Kmet being managed through minor injuries, must maintain communication and leverage to create clean pockets for the quarterback and establish running lanes. Each block, each hand placement, and each coordinated stunt matters when the game is expected to be tight, with both teams looking to capitalize on even the smallest advantage. Special teams will also play a role that cannot be underestimated. With Ian Agbogmiga, missing due to a hamstring issue, the Bears' return and coverage units are impacted, which could influence field position and momentum. In games like this, where a single explosive play can shift the trajectory, every snap on special teams must be executed with precision. Coaches will have to rely on veterans and situational players to maintain reliability while mitigating risks. For the Packers, personal issues or minor injuries affecting players like Jaden Reed and Dantavian Wicks could also influence how they structure their special teams and offensive personnel, which means the Bears have opportunities to exploit mismatches or take calculated risks in these phases of the game. As we move closer to game day, the coaching staff's ability to adapt and make real-time adjustments will be tested. Chicago has a mix of veterans and emerging talent, each capable of making plays, but each with limitations that must be managed. The balance between aggression and caution is delicate, especially in a divisional game with high stakes for standings and playoff implications. Defensive calls, pass rush alignments, blitz packages, and coverage schemes will all need to be fluid, taking into account both who is healthy and who is trending toward full participation. Offensive play calling, meanwhile, will need to account for the Packers' deep threat with Watson, the mobility of Love, and the potential unpredictability of their running game with Jacobs' knee and ankle concerns. This chess match is not just about the players on the field, but also about how the coaching staff leverages their depth and prepares for contingencies, particularly if injuries limit snap counts or force substitutions in critical moments. Looking deeper at individual matchups, DJ Moore and Zaccheaus will likely face heavy coverage, given the absence of Rome and potentially Luther Burden. Expect cornerbacks and safeties to rotate in coverage responsibilities, challenging Moore's route precision and timing while testing Zaccheaus' ability to win contested catches. If the Bears can leverage the running game effectively with Swift and the backups, it could open up passing windows and prevent the Packers from stacking the box. On the defensive end, matchups along the line will be pivotal. Montez Sweat versus the Packers' right tackle, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka against interior linemen or the edge, depending on motion, and Austin Booker in sub-packages could determine the Bears' ability to pressure Love without compromising coverage elsewhere. Each rep, each adjustment, and each snap will be magnified in importance given the high-pressure environment and the divisional rivalry that fuels this matchup. As the week progresses, keep a close eye on practice reports, injury designations, and any potential roster moves that could further shape the game plan. The Bears' ability to integrate backups, manage injuries, and exploit mismatches may ultimately decide the outcome. With Saturday night approaching, every aspect from the trenches to the secondary, from special teams to quarterback decision-making, contributes to a complex equation that will determine who emerges with the edge. The chemistry of healthy players, the strategic deployment of rotational pieces, and the execution of game plans under pressure will all factor into a matchup that is expected to be intensely competitive. Chicago's fans should be ready for a game where attention to detail, depth utilization, and adaptive coaching could make the difference between a pivotal divisional victory and a disappointing setback. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Chicago is buzzing with speculation as whispers emerge from the front office about a potential blockbuster trade that could shake the NFL to its core. Sources close to the team suggest that Ryan Poles, the Bears' general manager, is exploring moves that could redefine the roster and excite a fan base that has been yearning for bold action. While the specifics remain murky, insiders hint at a high-stakes negotiation that might involve top-tier talent from other franchises. The mere mention of Poles being on the hunt has already sent waves through social media, with Bears fans erupting in anticipation and debating endlessly about who might be involved. The speculation is fueled by Poles' reputation for taking calculated risks, as seen in past maneuvers where he wasn't afraid to swing for impact players. Analysts suggest that the move could be aimed at immediately bolstering key positions, creating a roster capable of making a genuine push for contention. Observers point out that the Bears' current lineup has the potential but lacks a game-changing piece that could elevate the team to a new level, and this rumored trade might be exactly that missing link. Fan reaction has been electric, ranging from cautious optimism to outright frenzy. Social media channels are flooded with mock trade scenarios, with supporters envisioning marquee acquisitions that could instantly transform Chicago's offense or defense. Merchandise sales and local discussions have spiked, demonstrating the power of POLES' rumored intent alone, even without any official announcement. Meanwhile, league insiders speculate that multiple teams could be in the mix, each weighing the cost of parting with star players against the chance to acquire high draft picks or future assets from the Bears. If the rumors bear out, it could mark one of the most daring maneuvers in recent franchise history, cementing POLES' reputation as a bold architect willing to shake the league's status quo. Until then, Chicago remains in suspense, with a fan base collectively holding its breath, hoping that the next big headline will finally deliver the blockbuster moment they've been craving. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.